In episode number 284, we cover Marvel's comic book shakeup. What changes are they making to get sales back up?
We also have the highlights for DC coming out in May 2018.
Our comic book highlight will be an interview with Sonic the Hedgehog's Ian Flynn.
All of this and so much more on today's show.
Hello and welcome to the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, bringing you the reasons we're broke every single week, ranging from comics, movies, TV, video games, and more. I am Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
For those of you new to the podcast, maybe fans of Ian Flynn or listeners of his podcast, the way we format the show is first we cover some news, and then we head on over to our Patreon shoutouts, our Brokehead block, and then we'll normally have a comic book review. This week, though, we have a whole interview with one of the writers to Sonic the Hedgehog #1, launching this April, so that'll be for our comic book highlight this episode.
Do I get to do my Sonic song now?
Once we get to the interview, yes, we'll do it right before.
So far away. Okay, I'm ready.
Starting off today's news with Google. They've got analytics on US Dish Network, and they have compiled a US map of preferences between Marvel and DC based on search engine results in each state.
That's pretty cool. I didn't even know they did things like that.
Someone's always watching those analytics. You can really look up analytics to pretty much everything, like people's favorite DBZ character,
Vegeta.
people's favorite Pokemon.
Pikachu. What else? Am I the analytics right here?
So the states that more often search for DC Comics, taking all of this data into account, were California, which is our #1 downloaded state for the podcast and download. So good job, California. I like to think that we are influencing that state a little bit.
They're like, oh, they're talking about, let me Google this.
Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota, Virginia, Maryland, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So if you're in any of those states, nicely done. You're Googling the right things.
The right things. States that were split too close and were deemed 50-50 were New Jersey, Denmark, West Virginia, Delaware, North Carolina, and Florida.
I like to think that we alone were the ones that pushed it closer to that 50-50.
Push Florida to the 50-50, just us.
Although Florida is our second most downloaded episode or state for our podcast,
well,
so I'm sure a lot of Brokehead core members are also Googling DC Comics. So you're welcome, Florida, for getting you to that 50-50 split. Too close to call everyone. It'd be a recount.
All the rest of the states had a majority of Marvel searches. US Dish Network recognizes that this is most likely due to the success of Disney films. So it's not even, it's because Marvel's good. It's, yeah.
The thing is, where they're going with this is that people are more likely Googling, let's say, Black Panther, for example, coming out. Showtimes. Every time there's a movie coming out, you're Googling Black Panther showtimes, and that goes into the Google Analytics. So something like Disney, who has these massively popular Marvel movies, obviously people are more often Googling these latest releases from Marvel Studios, except for the states that are going for DC Comics, which is always like, are they really heavy on reading that stuff, or are they all looking into Batman? I'm always curious what they're actually really looking into.
Do the Dakotas actually have internet? I went to South Dakota, one of the Dakotas once, and there were just a lot of farms from what I remember.
So it didn't change. I think last year we covered this same study, and it was a majority Marvel. And again, it's because of the movies and the TV shows that they are coming out with. But their latest release is Black Panther. And Rotten Tomatoes had a certain ranking that may or may not have messed up for them that put Black Panther in a spotlight.
According to Rotten Tomatoes, Black Panther held the #1 spot for greatest movie of all time and the #1 spot for greatest action and adventure movie of all time, which is ridiculous.
Huge thanks to Kyle Lynch for sending us the link. It is ridiculous. He was like, here's your rage for the day.
Nerd rage reaction! That's what happened to you. You turned Super Saiyan in the house with rage.
So what ended up happening is, although some movies held a higher rating with Rotten Tomatoes that were underneath Black Panther, The adjusted score formula, which takes into account the number of reviews that a movie has, put Black Panther at the very, very top of the list of all time.
So ridiculous. Who came up with that formula and said, yes, this will be a good idea? Because the popularity of the internet and the ability to get reviews now is equivalent to that of back in the day. No. Oh my God.
It's actually perfect to me because it shows the nonsense that is Rotten Tomatoes, the unreliability that website has, is if there weren't already pictures of, look at these movies that are rated lower than Thor Ragnarok, for example, and they're clearly better movies. Right. So that alone, you should never take the Rotten Tomatoes score into account when you're looking at these movies or ranking, or I heard that it actually has a high tomato. It doesn't matter. Like, as we know, it's not reliable. And what ended up happening with this and the greatest movies of all time is it was the perfect persona or perfect representation of that. I just came out of that movie. That is my favorite movie of all time. That excitement that you feel after seeing a movie. And it's like, that is my favorite of all time when you're in junior high, maybe elementary school, and you're still just hyped.
This is the best thing I've ever seen.
Hyped about seeing it, and you're calling it your favorite of all time. And that's what happened with Black Panther. And that's what happened with Rotten Tomatoes. All these critics were rating it higher, not as high as other movies on that list, but there were still so many going in at once. The Rotten Tomatoes is like, oh, then clearly that is the greatest movie of all time. And they did not look over that formula, and they let it sit there for nearly a day.
They're out of their minds. No, and for all those who are tuning in for the first time, we have not seen Black Panther.
Right.
And we probably won't see it until
we don't plan to see
shows up on Netflix
not
or
even then.
Someplace else.
I have zero interest in it.
I will probably watch it when it shows up on Netflix.
Have fun. I don't know why, but have fun.
So that Leo and I can listen to Wakanda, Wakanda.
I can tell you they don't sing that. I would have known about it by now with the Brokehead Core.
However, we still don't think that it's the number one movie. I can see how people are excited for it and why it's a cultural thing and people feel that they need to see
authentic Wakandan culture in there.
And listen, their whole thing is now little boys of all races can go to the movies and say, I want to be that superhero.
Blade, right?
Yes. Okay. Well, anyway, I get it. The movie's not for us. We're not big fans of Marvel movies, as our longtime listeners know. But I can tell you already that it's not the number one movie. We very much enjoyed Shape of Water. It is not the number one movie of all time.
When you watch it on Netflix, if you do, then you can let me know if it is the greatest. Because we don't know. Maybe it is the greatest movie. Maybe it ends up being my favorite movie. But I don't want to take the chance because I don't have interest. I have zero interest in watching this.
This is what I will do. If it comes on Netflix and I watch it, I will give a Mumble Nini review of Black Panther.
All right. We'll get that in a year.
I'm making this promise. If I ever see that movie, I will do a Mumble Nini review.
What's funny about your promise is it might not even show up on Netflix.
That's why I said it. Because it's probably going to show up on Disney's thing.
So on Rotten Tomatoes' list, Black Panther sat higher than The Godfather.
No.
Pan's Labyrinth.
No.
The Fountain, my favorite movie of all time.
No.
Get Out. The Wizard of Oz.
No.
Mad Max Fury Road. The Dark Knight. No. 2001: A Space Odyssey, Rocky, the first one, Logan, and many, every movie in existence.
Every movie.
It's higher than The Room.
Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind.
Nothing's higher than The Room, except for a lot of other things.
So Rotten Tomatoes very quickly adjusted Black Panther's ranking. Again, it almost sat for a full day, but someone went,
so they didn't very quickly adjust it. Rotten Tomatoes eventually adjusted the ranking.
They adjusted it after websites like comicbook.com called them out on it and said, hey, so these movies are not as good as Black Panther. And they're like, what's going on? Oh, shit. Like they forgot about it or something. I don't know what ended up happening. But it ended up, the ranking system screwed it all up. And that little chart, I don't know how they adjusted it or they just removed it from the list. But
they probably removed the whole formula ranking, just like...
Yeah. Disabled it.
Gone, yeah. Because that's what you got to do. And in theory, yes, a formula like that would work really well. But then you got to sit down and think, okay, in actuality, is this going to work? And hell no, it's not ever going to work. There's never going to be a formula that will 100% of the time give you the correct answers for something like this. Especially in this day and age, and with a place like Rotten Tomatoes, where it's all user opinion, essentially.
Yeah, as long as you can prove that your side is legitimately a movie critic something that they can take into account when they're ranking movies, then, you know, anyone can really, as long as you put in the time and efforts, you can contribute to that positive or that negative rating pretty easily compared to like actually getting published in a newspaper or something. You can make a legitimate website and get some traction that way. And I'm not saying it's easy to do, but if you really wanted to screw up or at least contribute to that formula, you definitely can. And as you mentioned, it is not, you know, New York Times only or the Chicago Tribune only. It is just anyone with a professional website, a professional movie reviewer.
And that's real easy to make. $15 and you're in. And I know we've talked about this before. Did we ever discover if there's a website where it's all, I mean, it could be anybody, but then you could find people who like the same movies you do and see what they thought of these other movies?
No. I never found one and none was pointed out to me.
Ah, that'd be so cool. That's such a good idea. Make it, Daniel. Make it for me.
It would work like Netflix's recommendations, and now they have a thumbs up or a thumbs down system, and then they'll say, you gave this a thumbs up, so you might enjoy this, as opposed to the star rating. Do you remember why they changed that?
Yes, because people got real pissed because they were going in and giving women things like 1 star just to mess up their star rating.
Yeah, there was a female comedian that people really don't like, or she has a strong following of people that follow her around and like rank her down, and they did that with Netflix, and that was an original Netflix production. They're like, we can't do that.
Nope, it's gone,
get rid of that shit.
Gone. Well, yeah, I've noticed on Netflix now, like when I watch something, it says because you like this, there's a 80% chance that you'll like this other thing.
They've got a formula too. Mm-hmm. But I love that story. I love that. Yeah, there's work. Not fucking Rotten Tomatoes. Don't ever click on that shitty website ever again.
Rotten Tomatoes is real rotten.
Oh, that's...
You know where else there's a Rotten Tomato? On Magic School Bus.
Is that an episode?
Yes, with the microbe gang. I'm going to bring up Magic School Bus in every podcast. I will find a way to relate some episode in every podcast forever now.
So there was more joy in my life, Kelly, aside from the embarrassment that was Rotten Tomatoes and Black Panther. The Avengers director and Justice League co-director, Joseph Whedon, has left the Warner Brothers Batgirl live-action film. Joey Whedon's gone, and gone. Get his fucking ass. That fucking...
You all can't see this, but he's dancing like he did when he was drunk on the cruise ship.
Boom, boom. Yes! It's the greatest.
Our closet turned into a music festival. There was the actual fireworks, guys.
Joey Whedon is fucking gone. Get your fucking ass out of here. Go make shitty movies elsewhere. You've already ruined Justice League enough. Get the fuck out. And I'm glad that Warner Brothers did something right for once something good came out of Justice League, Kelly.
Yes.
Something good came out of it, and that is Joe Whedon's fucking ass. Justice League, much like Superman in Batman v Superman, had to be that sacrifice for the rest of the DC universe so that the evil could be defeated, the evil that is Joe. Say no to Joe, that fucking B-chant.
So, I have to ask you a question. If you were to rank this with the birth of your son, which one is higher?
It's still the birth of my son. It is.
But just by a small margin.
I was not dancing when my son was born, I can tell you that.
You were not, I remember.
But I am not even crying tears of happiness. I'm just very happy. I'm very ecstatic. This is great. This is one of the greatest things that could have happened in 2018. And it did happen. He's gone. He can go. We weren't going to watch Batgirl because his fucking ass was on it. Now I can watch Batgirl. I can watch Batgirl with whatever director is on it, as long as it is not Joe.
We used to have a saying at work when we were talking about safety. We'd go, "Oh no, Joe." Hashtag "Oh no, Joe." I think that applies here.
It does apply here. Say no to Joe. Hashtag say no to Joe. And it fucking worked. It fucking worked. Why is he gone, Kelly? Why is Joe Whedon, Joseph Whedon, Josh Whedon, Joshua Whedon, I'm just going to keep calling him by his other fucking names. Why is he gone? Why did he leave Batgirl?
We have a quote here from a press release
From Whedon himself.
From Whedon himself.
From Joey.
I will read it so that you never have to have his words in your mouth.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Quote, Batgirl is such an exciting project, and the Warners/DC such collaborative and supportive partners that it took me months to realize why I didn't have a story. I'm grateful to Jeff and Toby and everyone who was welcoming when I arrived, and so understanding when I, is there a sexier word for failed?
There is not. There's a worse word for fail. It's called Joey Whedon. He Whedoned it. He fucking Whedoned it.
So you turned him into a verb?
He is a fucking verb. He is now a verb. That's something you can add to your accomplishments, Joe. You are now a verb for yourself.
Is Josh a 4-letter word?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Leo's going to say that one day and you'd be like, not in my house.
He didn't have a story to tell, Kelli.
He didn't.
He did not have a story to tell. That's what he says. He got fucking fired after what happened with Justice League. He got fucking fired.
Sucked.
That's what fucking happened. Others also think that they were trying to avoid a potential backlash with Batgirl. If you have a male director on it, once they release it, any fucking joke they throw in, they're like Flash falling on Wonder Woman's boobs in Justice League. Jokes like that, if you see them in Batgirl, they'll immediately turn around and point like, well, you had this male director and you should have had a female director like Wonder Woman. That's the biggest issue is you had a success like Wonder Woman, everyone's saying, oh, they should have female directors direct the female characters. So that was the other thing that people think is why Joey Whedon is off Batgirl.
I can see it.
I that's a fucking excuse, of course. So I didn't have a story to tell. No, that's not and that's a terrible excuse too.
Right.
Because people can still turn around and say, oh, you couldn't come up with a story of this interesting female strong character. There's all these comics and you couldn't come up with a fucking story. It's a goddamn lie. And he looks like he looks like shit going out. And that's right. Like, go, leave. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. I don't care if he did this well or terribly or gracefully. Get out, Joe. Thank you very much. Go back to Disney. Go make their worst. See if you can top Avengers for the worst comic, like a Marvel movie out there. Let's see if you can do that. Worst comic book fucking movie. I'd rather watch the Fantastic Four that they made for $1 million than I would rather watch the Avengers again. Go see if you can top that and continue your name, your 4-letter word of Joey, of fucking Joe, of Whedon. Get out of here. Someone else get into Batgirl. We're good.
There's so much hate coming from you right now.
It's like happiness, but it's also, I guess it's kind of hate, but it's happy hate. Like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. It's different than Nerd Rage Reaction, because in that you're upset, and it's a one-way thing. But I'm like happy, and I'm also like happy to just kick his ass as he's heading out the fucking door.
Aww, I'm starting to feel bad for the guy now.
Oh, you feel bad for that fucking guy that ruined Justice League, that made that shitty Avengers movie and Avengers 2?
Yeah.
There's nothing to feel bad about, Kelli.
I'm
not going after him personally.
He's still
I'm not saying anything about his family. I haven't even brought up the fact that he's a quote fake feminist, as people have said, like, oh, he cheated on his wife and all this. I'm like, I don't care what you do in your personal life. As I've said with Louis C.K., like, I don't care what he fucking did. I care about your work. And Joey Whedon's work is some of the worst out there. So that's why you're hearing this coming out of me. And I'm shitting on his fucking movies and his work. I don't care what he does. Go do it somewhere else. Go do whatever you do in your personal life. He could be a great artist. Great. Good for you. Don't make movies. I'm not going to be seeing them. So I'm glad I can watch Batgirl.
You know who should direct Batgirl?
Anyone but Joe. Anyone but Joe.
Tommy Wiseau.
Anyone. Anyone can direct that shit.
I'm Batgirl, huh?
Great. Even better than what Joey would have done. Amazing. It's all of this is an improvement now. Like, this is, you hit the bottom when you had Joe on Batgirl. Everything they do from now on is just a positive. Oof. You're in the green. You're in the green, Warner Brothers. You are perfect. You're in the best position you could ever be in.
On a side note, I do hope they pick a female director, because I think that is a smart move.
They will.
And Gail Simone should write it.
She still doesn't even know, like, what the story's going to be. She's like, I don't even know if I'm getting a paycheck for those stories from the New 52. All I know is that they're basing it off of those books, so we'll see. And she's been...
So he already had a fucking story. Okay,
Of course he did. Yeah, of course he had a fucking story. They were going to do the New 52 version of Batgirl and take inspiration from that. So instead it can be someone else doing it. Yes, he was fired. He was kicked out.
We should get Guillermo on there so he can drop out in a year after we get really excited.
and we can delay this movie another 3 years.
And then not do any work for another 15 years.
Are you happy you can watch Batgirl? A better Batgirl movie exists now because of this.
So I'm happy there's a better Batgirl movie. I'm not going to lie. I probably would have seen the Batgirl movie anyway, eventually, even with him on it.
He was writing it too.
I mean, I get that, but I support Batgirl. Would I have enjoyed it? No, but...
His Batgirl would have been worse than Alicia Silverstone's from Batman and Robin. I know this already. Because there's...
You feel it in your bones.
Have Schumacher on Batgirl than I'd rather have Joey Whedon. Again, anyone, any person can write or direct this. Get someone in their college film courses. Just pull someone fucking out there. I would like their movie better than Joey's.
I'm refraining from saying because you've already seen it.
This is the one, it's the Joe effect. It's an exception.
Okay.
It overrides all kinds of rules.
So like Joey gets on a project and ripples through to the other side of the world and a car crash happens.
It's like the butterfly effect,
yes,
the Whedon effect. Yeah, the Joey effect. Okay, I haven't told you guys. I might have told you earlier. The real reason why... Mm-hmm. And it's because it's the Brokehead Core, and you guys are listening. I'm not necessarily tweeting this out yet, but the real reason why Joey Whedon left is I told Warner Brothers, it's either he walks or you lose Aquaman. What do you prefer? There's a movie coming out later this year, and if I walk out now, there's going to be a huge backlash when Aquaman comes out later in the fall, this winter. And they had a decision to make, and it was like, look at the quality. The Aquaman performance... or Joey Whedon, who just ruined Justice League for you. I refused to go back for shootings. I wasn't going to work with fucking Joey.
Okay.
And they knew I was serious then. And when I threatened to walk out, it was an easy decision. Because I could easily make another blockbuster called Aqua Hombre, Aqua Boy, whatever. I could have done it easily, but...
Agua Hombre.
Agua Hombre, Agua Man. And it would have been done. It would have been fine. It wouldn't have been DC, though. And they made that decision was clear enough. They very quickly sent him his fucking pink slip, whatever it is. They send him off on his fucking way.
You also sent a DM to Jeff, right?
I didn't direct message him. I actually brought it up at one of our meetings at his office. We always go out for brunch. Mm-hmm. That is the only person I ever go out on brunch with. I think brunch is unnecessary. But
every breakfast you eat is a brunch because we wake up so late.
but with Jeff, it is always effective. So that's when we talked it over. And it was a short conversation. It wasn't even an argument. He was like, yeah, I understand how you feel. And I saw Justice League. It's an easy decision.
I imagine you walking in there and like the Pokemon fight theme starts like dun dun dun. DC used Josh Whedon.
It's not very effective.
Daniel used walkout. It's perfect.
Dun 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 dun. You're welcome, everyone. The cinema is better off now.
Yes, so much better off.
For it.
Until he does something else.
Do it elsewhere, yes. DC is better off. How about that? And if they go behind my back and put him on another fucking DC character project, ooh.
Yeah, I'm telling Mom. So moving on to video game news now that we're done. Are you done?
I'm done.
Are you
I'm
sure?
Good.
Are you sure
Feels
we can
great.
move on? Do you need to get out anything else?
So happy. I'm just thrilled.
Anything else before I move forward?
Giant smile on my face.
All right. So video game news. Given the success of the Zelda Hyrule Historia, the Zelda Encyclopedia, and the Zelda Art and Artifacts hardcovers, Dark Horse will be publishing a 256-page Super Mario Bros. Encyclopedia on October 23rd.
So the Super Mario Bros. Encyclopedia is actually going to cover over 30 years of the franchise's history, including the evolution of Goomba, Yoshi's introduction, classic levels, and so much more. If there's another game that you can do this with aside from Zelda, it is going to be the Super Mario Bros.
And Pokemans.
And Pokemon, yeah, you can do that. But the thing is,
Pokemon.
That's not Nintendo. That's all Game Freak. So Dark Horse is working through Nintendo for Zelda and Mario. They'd have to go through the Pokemon Company, Game Freak, and Nintendo if they wanted to do a Pokemon one.
Do it. I would, and then I would just rip out the back pages with all these random ass Pokemon. Anyway, Mario is really cool. It's very smart of them to do. A lot of people, I think, will pick this up and put it on their shelf and enjoy it. And it'd be cool to pull it out and show your kid, like, back in the day, this is what Mario looked like.
And if it's anything like the presentations that we have gotten in Zelda, it's going to be $39.99. So it's that same price point as the other games. It's going to be less Hyrulean, obviously, because it's a whole different franchise, but the cover itself looks really colorful. If it's going to be a hardcover, it's going to have that nice presentation that Dark Horse can bring forward. And if anyone deserves it, again, if you've done Zelda, you move on to Mario. And then I'm excited to see another 3 hardcovers of Mario if they end up doing more.
That'd be so cool. I want to see the evolutions of the Goombas. I love the Goombas. They're just little mushroom men walking around. Why do they get such a bad rap?
Because they work for Bowser.
Well, are they forced into working for Bowser? Have we ever uncovered that?
You're going to have to read the book. I'm not going to spoil Dark Horse's project for everyone.
Oh, because you know that answer too? You work with them?
I actually do get some of their books early. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that.
I do.
Did you get this one early?
No.
Well, then... Okay. I think that the Goombas are forced to work for Bowser. And they're just chilling in their hometown. And then Mario shows up and they're like, oh, shit, man, this guy just walked into my house. Let me go, beat him up. And then Mario's like, I'm going to jump on your head. And then he kills them.
From the earlier booklets where they talk about the question mark blocks is that Bowser actually took a bunch of toadstools and turned them into those bricks.
Aww.
So you're murdering them as you're going through. Whereas another game like, I don't know, Sonic the Hedgehog. There's a little theme here with Sonic the Blue Blur. When you destroy the robots, it turns back into its animal form, which
the
is
chows.
the
animals you give to the chows.
Yeah, I think so. So like rabbits, squirrels, and every time you destroy them, they go back, and you can free them at the end of every level, and they would have been robots that you would normally destroy, but you're freeing them. And that's how they got around with the storyline. And it's like, yeah, you're not destroying these mushroom men. You're actually freeing their original form. So good job, Sonic. I love Sonic the Hedgehog, let me just say also.
Sonic is the best thing ever.
Should be a politician. I really should.
You should. Aquaman the politician.
Oh, yes.
Aquaman for president.
Fuck you, yeah. My voters.
Stop. Please do that. I want your little buttons to say that. Like it's got your face, and then it says my M-A voters. My voters. And then you should give out free bottles of Guinness. Oh no, yours is Stella. They got that wrong.
Right, that's my stunt double that likes Guinness.
Okay.
He didn't want to copy me, so he picked Guinness. Marvel Comics, they needed to make a change. Their sales aren't where they need to be. Their quality, their books, people aren't happy. Readers are not happy with Marvel. And it looks like they are putting forth an effort to make a change to their lineup, a quote-unquote fresh start that is coming to comic book shops everywhere starting this May.
The shakeup will include new creative teams, new titles, new number ones, and a new direction for Marvel. So the same thing that we see at least once every other year from Marvel.
Yes, but the thing is, I don't mind the constant reboots and relaunches. I know readers do. They're going to say, oh, great, another number one. They need it, though. There is nothing else they could have done moving forward to get readers back in. It's always a major change, a major number one that gets readers back into the fold. Like, yeah, the regular readers that are following are going to complain, but most of them end up staying on, or for the New 52, they left and then they came back eventually. So it's one of those things that you have to do as a comic book publisher. Dan DiDio said compared to DC, it was like you have to do like a clean slate. I was telling Bobby, you got to just flush the toilet and have a fresh thing. You know, you got to...
Gross.
You got to get rid of the crap.
How long's it been sitting there, though?
Oh, it's been sitting there a while for Marvel. and that's the thing. It hasn't even been that long, but it's just been really bad. Like a really bad shit. Like a really runny one.
Like a lot of Taco Bell recently.
Poor Taco Bell. We love Taco Bell.
I do. I love Taco Bell. But people always give Taco Bell a bad rap.
Yeah, that's another thing that's such a fucking misconception.
Or Japanese hibachi. There we go.
All right. Yes, you can go after them. The issue I have with Marvel and what they're doing. So the solicitation highlights real quick. You're going to have an all new Avengers #1 written by Jason Aaron. I love Jason Aaron. I might read this. Venom #1, Black Panther #1, both issues I can sell until the end of time. Hunt for Wolverine. And there's going to be several miniseries for Hunt for Wolverine, Deadpool, Infinity Countdown. And then other titles are going to maintain their legacy numbering so that they can hit that issue 800, 900, and 1,000 after DC is about to hit theirs in a few weeks, really, with Action Comics #1000. So, do you see the issue here already?
No. What's the issue?
They're not streamlining anything. Some of them are number ones. Some of them are legacy. Some of them are miniseries. There's like 3 miniseries for Hunt for Wolverine.
Right.
There's a new one for Deadpool. There's the Infinity Countdown. There's like 4 miniseries for that. So they're expanding their titles even more. They're leaving some legacy numbers just so they can hit the high numbers. And then they're doing all new number ones for maybe not even half, I don't think, of their titles. So it's not even a full reboot, relaunch. They're not completely committed to this change. They're not committed, and the readers are reading into that. They're seeing it, and it's not clear enough that this is an all new. This is not the new 52. This is not DC Rebirth. This is a fresh start. What does that mean, readers? That's not marketable. That's not something we can sell to people. Like, this is all going to be brand new. It's like, no, some other titles are going to have the numbering. Some of them are going to be. That doesn't work. You got to commit completely.
I can definitely see that. I think, like you said, you have Black Panther #1 and you have Deadpool's in there, and it seems like they're restarting the titles that people are now fans of because they just went and saw those movies. So they said, oh, this is a great time to restart with #1s, and then we'll just keep going with what we have. For me, and for a long time, I think I've said this before, I don't feel like the people running Marvel Comics right now are comic people. And I don't know that that's true, but that's just the way that it feels. And unfortunately for them, I think that's going to reflect in numbers and sales, and it's going to continue to go down like it has been.
It does definitely feel more like a marketing control group.
Right.
Where they're just taking, people like that. Let's try to put that into the comic books. And I know people argue like, no, they're not doing that. They're just trying to capitalize off of... No, someone up top is telling them, put Black Panther everywhere. If you don't believe that, then you're not paying attention to the books and the lines, because they suddenly put the Infinity Stones in all kinds of titles with Avengers right around the corner. They started Wolverine's Return is another one that as soon as Logan and the Fox deal, it's like, we can put in Logan again. We can start putting in the Fantastic Four. Let's break up that was the most obvious one. Let's get rid of the Fantastic Four titles. Let's get rid of the X-Men titles because we don't have the rights to those movies. It's not them going, yeah, we should get rid of... No, you can sell the X-Men book. You can still sell that, and X-Men Red, X-Men Gold, and X-Men Blue are evidence of that. People want to read the mutants, but it is Disney telling them that this is the change they need to make.
Is there an X-Men Yellow and Silver?
I fucking hope so. I hope so, because if sales continue like they have with Red, yes, give me all the fucking colors. Give me more,
Does
please.
Wolverine have a Charizard in it? Because it's X-Men Red?
No, Wolverine's not even in there.
At the end of the day... Yes, these decisions are coming up from much higher. It feels like businessmen who have had previously the opportunity to say, let's dip our toe in here and see if it works, and then we can always change it later, still have that mindset. And unfortunately, you don't with comic books. So I don't think it's going to work out well for them. Like I said, we'll see what happens. Poor Marvel. Cheer up, Marvel.
Do better, Marvel. How about that?
Do better, Marvel.
No more incentive. This is how you fix your problem.
No more incentives, Marvel.
No more incentives, exactly. No 1 in 10s, 1 in 25s, 1 in 100s, 1 in 500s, 1 in 1000s. None of that. Order all you want variants.
None of that shit.
Just like DC is doing.
Yes.
Do a cover A, do a cover B, call it a day. Fold in your titles.
And the best part is they could be like DC and emulate what DC's doing, and no one will say they're copying DC. So
we're in a different world with the comics. This is where the true G's lie, Kelly. It's none of that nonsense that happens in the world of comics. No, that bias with Disney and the Marvel movies is non-existent in the comic book world, because these are readers that have been on for years and have seen the ups and downs for both companies. They need to fold in their titles. They need to cut all these fucking Infinity Prime minis, all of these Hunt for Wolverine minis, get rid of all of that, focus on the one title, cut your titles, cut what isn't selling, and focus on the big teams. Focus on Thor, Avengers, if you want Black Panther, Venom, Spider-Man. And if you want to have your Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales, I'd say merge them into a Detective Comics type of book like they did with DC. Instead of giving Stephanie Brown her own book and Red Robin his own book, they're in the Detective Comics ongoing. That's what you do with Spidey and the rest of those smaller Spider-Man heroes and villains. You throw them in that book. It's an obvious solution, but I feel like it's not as easy to carry out because there is someone out top saying, no, we need to sell more titles, so get more number ones out there. Okay, well, what new series can we come up with that we can sell another number one for?
Right.
And that's the issue.
You should be running this shit.
I'll run fucking Marvel for them, and then I'll head off into the sunset with my giant paycheck.
Into the DC sunset. So speaking of the DC sunset, we do have some exciting stuff coming out from DC very soon. First up is Action Comics number 1000 and all of its variants.
As I've said before, we are so fortunate that we can say that we were there when we saw Action Comics number 1000 on the stands. It'll always, from the time it releases until, there's no more planet Earth, they will remember, oh yeah, Action Comics 1000, it actually hit 1,000 issues. And what other book has done that? But we can say, I saw it on the stand. I can actually say, I put it out on the fucking stands. It's going to be really cool.
when Superman number 1000 came out. Great grandpa, that was Action Comics number. Well, whatever.
The next one's going to be Detective Comics, so that'll be really awesome. And not many books make it that far, and that these are iconic characters, and we're going to get that. However you feel about Superman, you got to admit, like, damn, that's really cool that it's 1,000 issues of Action Comics of Superman, the character that really started all of this, inspired so many heroes. After the Schusters, created him and did, along with DC, they all did something bigger. And obviously there were roadblocks along the way, and there were problems with payment. But since then, that character has lived on for this long, and it's amazing. And they're celebrating with the decades variants. So if you haven't seen them, they're throughout the decades: 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 2000s, 90s, and they are order all you want. So none of these are incentives. They're not one intended. If you want the 80s cover, have the 80s cover. If you want the Mike Allred cover, which so far at my shop has been the most popular one, you can get the Allred cover and not worry about, oh, that one's going to be $50. That one's going to be $100. Each shop gets one of the Jim Lee. All that fucking bullshit. It's order all you want. And that they finally revealed all the variants except for one on Action Comics, just because the artist hasn't completed his cover yet.
So let me ask you, how many of these variants will we be getting?
We are getting one of each.
So
we're getting one of each. Yes, we're getting all of them.
Why was I surprised? I'm not even surprised. I knew this would happen.
We're getting all of them, and it's $7.99 each issue. It's a super sized cover. It adds up really quickly, and that's something I do want to also remind listeners is, if you say like, yeah, I want to get it, okay, it's going to be $7.99 for all the issues. Just a heads up. As long as you know that going in, great. That you don't want to leave a comic shop stuck with a pile of books like, oh, I wanted them, but I can't pay for them, because they've already paid for those particular comics.
How many issues are there?
How many variants? There's 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, so that's 9. Then there's the blank cover, if you want that, and then there's the Jim Lee cover. So there's, I believe, 11 total.
Jesus, $88.
$88.
Do you know how many boxes of diapers that is?
One, maybe. Half of one?
That's like 2 boxes of diapers.
So which one, now that they've revealed the variants, which one has been your favorite out of all the variants for Action Comics 1000?
I have a few favorites. I have 3 favorites. Can I have 3 favorites?
You can have 3 favorites.
Is that okay?
You're the Emperor.
I am. That's right. I am the Emperor. Sometimes I forget and I have to be reminded. Just my greatness. So 1940s, Michael Cho. That one's pretty awesome.
And he's a nice guy, too.
He is.
On top of that.
Michael Allred, of course, 1960s. That one's great because it's got like different pieces of his life.
It's also like a straight up cover of every one of those Action Comics, like with the black and white pattern effect, and they've got the worn out. If anyone can do that, it's Mike Allred.
And then my last one, 1990s, Dan Jurgens.
Is that the one where he's holding the flag, or is that the one with Lois Lane?
With Lois Lane.
Gotcha.
The one with the flag confuses me.
People don't like that one.
he looks pained and a little too much in love with Batman.
You can not look too much in love with Batman with Superman.
Yeah, that's the Jim Steranko. That one's a little not my favorite. But all the rest look pretty cool. I like that they tried to emulate the covers from the different eras. Yeah,
for the most part they did. I think Michael Cho's still looks like a Michael Cho piece.
Whatever, let Michael Cho do what he wants.
A cover from that period, but I don't think they were told, make a cover that looks exactly like what would be a cover from that era. Instead, they were just told, use the Superman from that era and make a cover out of it. And that's what it sounds like they did. The only exception to that was Mike Allred, who tried to do a cover that looks like the class. And I think that's why it's been the most popular. Is It looks like it could be a book from that era. So that Even putting that aside, though, imagine being one of those artists and being told, make a cover for Action Comics number 1000.
Shit, man.
You are going to spend twice the amount of time on that fucking piece.
You're going to spend like 5 times the amount. You're going to make, like, outline 3 different covers and then pick which one you like the best.
And that's how you do it. If you ever follow any of these artists on Instagram, the ones that I appreciate the most are the ones that put up I think they call them the thumbs or the roughs of different covers that they potentially will do. They'll send it off to editors and they'll say, yeah, go with this one. It'll fit better on a cover. And then they'll make a large version, a full-size version of that cover. So those are my favorite artists. I know Guillaume Marc does that, and he's also one of my favorites. So, great variants. I'm glad they finally revealed them because this early on, people do want to see what they look like, and they want to put in their pre-orders.
And that is a big highlight right there. If you want one of these covers, definitely put in a pre-order at your local comic shop because these are going to fly. Yeah,
it's going to be tough to say. It's hopefully every store orders a shit ton of these, but it is, like we mentioned before, it's going to be that same crowd of, I bought The Death of Superman. I need to own Action Comics number 1000. As I've told you before, this is not the title that you buy to make $100 20 years later. It's not going to be that book.
Unless, again, you buy them all and you burn them all.
There you go. So. This is I own the 1000th issue of Superman.
I own all 11,000th issues of Superman.
DC is also going through a major change in May, but it's not due to a line shakeup. It is not because sales are down. It is actually because of I guess it's an event, but there's also Justice League No Justice, which has been extremely popular with everyone online with the costume designs, the team-ups. And because of that title, there's going to be changes in the titles that aren't selling as well and in some of the characters that are involved in those teams.
We will be getting DC Nation number 0, though. This will be a 25-cent issue featuring 3 stories leading up to the most anticipated event of the summer.
More than Action Comics 1000. More than Marvel Shakeup.
Than Joey Whedon leaving Batgirl. The Batman Catwoman Batcat wedding. Do I need to sing my song again? I don't even remember. Yeah. Gonna get married.
The other story that is featured in this quarter comic book is going to be the lead up to Justice League No Justice, and also the welcoming of Brian Michael Bendis back to DC Comics with his Man of Steel miniseries.
I would definitely pay more than 25 cents for this. I think it's great that they're only charging 25 cents, but I would definitely pay much more than that for this book.
What's nice about this book is it's coming out right before Free Comic Book Day.
Oh.
So the idea is if shops want, I don't know if there's going to be shops that give it away with a purchase. Like that's probably what I guess I would do. I don't know. I don't know what the plan is for different stores, but it's still a good 25 center because people do go into the shop, they pick up some pick up free comics and they leave, and it's like, all right, thanks. But a lot of them are like, let me buy something at every shop that I stop at, just because you have to. That's something I do when I go to Chicago. I always have to stop at the local stores and I have to get something, to support the shop. So with Free Comic Book Day, you'll see a lot of tweets that say, the comics weren't free. Be sure to support your local store as well. And that's a great comic, the 25 center of like, hey, do you like Justice League? Do you like Batman? Do you like Catwoman, the Joker? This is a quarter. Here you go. So that's going to be and it sets up the stories that are huge, that are going to be big for the rest of the year. Justice League No Justice is the 4-issue miniseries. The Batman Catwoman wedding is going to be an oversized issue for Batman number 50. And then Brian Michael Bendis. 3 excellent jumping on points, 3 excellent events for DC. This is how you fucking run a comic book company. This is how you set up success for your future stories. This is how you keep the steam going as opposed to letting it fall apart. You do things like this, 25 center, here's a preview. It's not even a preview, it's original content leading into these 3 things.
It's brilliant. I'm so excited. You have me, you just sold me on this book. Like, yes, I'll buy one right now.
That'll be 27 cents after tax. Thank you.
I'm very excited. If Leo was older, I'd give him his little quarter and be like, here, honey, go buy your own comic book.
I can't wait to take him into the store. Like, you can buy one.
Aw, and then he's going to pick, like, the compendium.
I wasn't specific. You're right. Here you go. Walking Dead compendium.
Hell no.
Here's the Saga compendium.
No. I love Saga, but hell no.
So what is this Justice League No Justice? 1 through 4? What is this? What's going on here?
I'm sure you're going to tell me.
If you've been listening for more than a month, you know what No Justice is. It is going to be a 4-issue miniseries. It is going to come out back to back each week. So it's going to be $3.99 for each issue. So what this is it is the Flash, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman set up as 4 individual teams that split up and take on different realms as they all collectively try to stop Brainiac.
Badass.
We had talked about how Batman had Lobo and Deathstroke. It's like, yeah, they're all Robins now. How we were excited about, a little confused about the Flash's team, but each one has their function and their purpose. But to those of you worried that this is going to be 4 more comics, $3.99 each, to add to your pile, these are actually going to publish in place of certain titles. So this is not an additional miniseries. They're actually going to take off a month of certain books to make up for that, to make room for this event. That's, again, how you fucking do it. You don't just add a miniseries.
Right. That's really smart. So the books these will be replacing are Justice League of America, Supergirl, and Harley Quinn.
All featuring characters that are on these teams.
Teen Titans will also take a break along with Titans. During May, though Snyder has hinted that new titles and new versions of existing books will spin out of No Justice. No word on whether or not any of these listed titles will end after No Justice.
Given this pattern that we're already seeing of them stopping certain titles just to make room for these, I do think that these spin-offs are going to be taking place of titles that are no longer publishing. So we do know that a bunch of books are actually wrapping up this May and beyond. Batgirl and the Birds of Prey, Bombshells United are going to start their finish in May. Super Son, Supergirl, Trinity, and Justice League of America are going to be ending at the end of April, at the beginning of May.
Super Sons, I feel like you already told me this, but I'm still outraged.
You and the rest of the internet were outraged. And Tomasi got on Twitter and he's like, holy shit, guys, I had not paid attention to Twitter for a minute, and I see all these tweets of people like angry and upset and what's going to happen with Super Sons, and he's like, no, Super Sons is not over. It's actually something different that I can't reveal right now. So he says it's not canceled due to sales. It's because it's changing into something else.
All right. Well, then tell us that. Don't just say no more Super Sons.
He did on Twitter within like 2 hours of the news.
Okay. Well, what about us who don't go on the Twitter?
And that's what's funny. A lot of people are still like, fucking DC. It's like, pay attention. Like, you'll see the book. You'll see it happening. If DC's smart, which I hope they are with this, at the end of Super Sons, they'll have a continued in this.
Right.
Or check out this title with featuring the Super Sons. They're in June or July, whenever they decide to continue that.
Hopefully they will. Like we've seen so far in all this news we just covered, DC is doing things the right way.
And we did see...
Unlike Marvel.
And that's something we did question last week with Brian Michael Bendis joining DC, is that going to end Super Sons as well? So I do think this is a result of Bendis wanting to do Superman, so they're giving him Superman. But I do think with Tomasi and Gleason, as we've seen with Batman and Robin, they can easily transition into a new character, another team up, and give us an excellent book. So wherever they go, follow that team. You'll have great comics with that.
Continuing on with DC, Harley Quinn Loves Joker numbers 1 and 2, collecting the backup stories from Paul Dini's, initially set in the back of Harley Quinn's ongoing, will be coming out as well in May. Also coming out in May, something else that we're going to have to spend money on, because we're such huge Paul Dini fans and we love what Paul does with Harley Quinn. We're going to have 2 issues called Harley Quinn Loves Joker, number 1 and number 2. These will collect all the backup stories that Paul initially set in the back of the Harley Quinn ongoing.
So even though there won't be a Harley Quinn book in May, there will be something for Harley fans. If you're not reading No Justice, which you should, and quickly get that on your sub, because it's going to be a weekly. I know by issue 2, I think issue 2 is going to have the most chance of selling out, because people are going to read issue 1, still not add it to the sub, and then issue 2 come out like, oh, I actually did like it. Now there's not enough.
Right.
So it's going to be big. With the Harley Quinn 1 and 2, if you didn't read the backup, or if you're collectors like we are, yeah, you can also pick up this collection of what was a really good story from Paul Dini. And I know the exception right now is Harley and Ivy Meet Betty and Veronica, which has not been good.
No.
But it's also not 100% Paul Dini. He's co-writing this with Andrego, I believe his last name is. He worked on the Love is Love Orlando book, but he didn't write that whole thing. He helped put it together. But when he writes something, it seems like it, maybe not so much, but we're still collecting them because of that. But Paul Dini, 100%. Harley Quinn loves Joker. This is the definitive, like, if you enjoyed Mad Love, if you like Batman the Animated Series and you haven't read this is what you need.
Right. I'm excited to read the whole story in one go, because like we did say, they were backup stories in the Harley Quinn ongoing. So to have it in one place where you can just go, whoop, here's the story. Very excited, because it felt like it was right from the animated series again, which is, of course, our favorite Batman.
Definitely it is. Also, James Tynion IV is going to be wrapping up the massive Bat Family story that he started back in the New 52 with Batman Eternal, and that is Detective Comics number 981 is going to be his wrap-up.
981? Oi.
We're going to get Detective Comics 1000 next year. It's next year. Definitely next year.
Yeah. Because they're, 12 issues away now? Yeah. No, 19 issues away.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And Detective has been one of our favorite Batman books. It's been my favorite Bat book. I know yours is Batman right now. But it does feel like Batman Eternal, except we're not getting it every week, which is nice.
Right.
This is the right pacing. And James Tynion has been killing it. At points, Detective Comics has been the better Batman book from DC Rebirth. And I say overall, it still is. So to see him wrapping this all up, it sounds like he had a plan. And it definitely feels like there's some losses, as we've seen recently. There is his story is told. He is finished. And I'm really happy that we got to so many years of this story, Batman, the Bat Family, all working together. And we'll see what ends up happening, if we're going to get more of these Bat Family stories moving forward, or if it will go back to focusing on the detective, Batman.
I'm assuming we don't have any news on who's taking over after him yet.
Not yet.
Well, we'll wait. I want to know now.
Hope it's Tomasi and Gleason.
Oh my God. Use your connections.
I'll find out for you guys. I'll tweet to Jeff.
Thanks. We also mentioned last week about the duo packs for the Watchmen. It's not Watchmen. It's pretty much Watchmen. Doomsday Clock figurines that are coming out. We did get the price point on the first one. Ozymandias and Dr. Manhattan 2-pack will be out in August of this year for a price point of $50.
Mm-hmm.
Worth it.
So it'll be a part of the May solicitations, part of the previews catalog. So it'll be the first of the, three that you can pre-order. And also DC Core is kicking off. And these are PVC statues that DC Comics is coming out with. And they're at the perfect price point, $50. These are well-detailed, perfect size. The trade-off is that they're not limited. So it's not like a limited edition of 3,000, 4,000. They can keep printing these, but they look great. And most collectors that are buying these PVC statues don't care that they're limited. They want a cool showpiece that won't break when they take it out of the box, when they drop it. You just pulled up one of the Batman ones. That's the Batman DC Core PVC statue. There's one of the Joker.
It's so cool.
Like, they really did an awesome job with these, and I can't wait to get my hands on one and really display it at the store, because this is what they needed. They were doing the Diamond Gallery ones for the animated series, Superman the animated series, which have been coming out great. But DC is like, look, we got DC collectibles. Why aren't we making these ourselves?
And they don't break?
They don't. They're not like porcelain or resin. They're plastic. They're not heavy, but they're detailed enough to where it looks like a higher end statue. They're really nice.
Even like the base on the Joker is so cool. Oh man, we need some of these. We got a little kid running around the house. Can't be having this fancy stuff.
And I've had parents tell me, I love these statues because if they fall, they're not going to break.
Right, you don't have to worry about them, because that's the problem. Statues are really cool, and you and I love statues. We have our nice little glass cases full of them. But I'm starting to think about baby proofing. And you don't want that shit lying around, because all they have to do is bump it and it's gone. Like, there's nothing. So this is a brilliant idea. Like you said, it's a great price point, $50, very affordable for these. But they look nice, and you know that nothing's going to happen to them.
So that is a huge solicitation for DC Comics in May. Once again, just continuing the good stuff, just continuing with exciting new direction with the DC New Justice League, Justice League, No Justice, the PVC statues, the Doomsday Clock figurines, and hopefully, I still don't think that this is enough for Marvel, this change. They need to do a line-wide change and commit to it, but I don't know, we'll see. Maybe with the firing of Axel Alonso, Brian Michael Bendis heading over to DC, there's a vacuum of, hey, who wants to step up? And it looks like it's Jason Aaron to really headline Marvel Comics into a new direction. And I'm hoping it works out. We all want every comic company to do well. Why not? We want readers to be happy.
Of course.
So we'll see. We'll end up finding out, and that's our thing, though. We do think they need to do a little bit more, but on our end, we're happy as DC fans that we're getting some very exciting news down the pipeline.
And that does wrap up our news for the week. With that, we can move into our Brocat block.
Where's your jingle? Where's your Brocat block jingle?
What's the song?
I don't know. You have a different one every week.
No, but I changed it. I like the one from last week. What was it?
Doon 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 doon.
That wasn't it, but that's okay. I'll do that. Na 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 na. It's the one and only BROKE.
Yep, that's the exact one from last week.
Yes. No, but there was another one. It's
the
one that you always sing. Oh, I got one. Thank you for being a friend. Golden Girls.
So this is the section where we talk about some of the background workings of the Reasons I'm Broke podcast, and not a whole lot this week, but we do want to say that we have an addition to Discord. We are now on Discord. This is something that I had a Brokehead tell me nearly 2 years ago. Why don't you guys have a Discord? And I looked into it initially, and I didn't really see the potential to it. I talked to PurpleSwordfish, who you're going to hear in a few minutes, and then a couple of his subscribers on his YouTube channel, and they kind of outlined how Discord is like an ongoing chat. You can use it for voice chat as well if you're streaming games, which is not something that Kelli or I do. Mm-hmm. But for me, it was beneficial to have like an ongoing chat room that the Brokehead core can all collectively always talk into. Like, it's not like Twitter where it's harder to keep track of. Like, you'd have to start a thread and kind of continue from there, but finding it again is more difficult. Whereas if you go into Discord, you can go straight into that room and you'll see the chat room. You'll see Brokeheads that you can talk to and just have an ongoing chat conversation. So that's something that we do have now. If you go to the reasonsimbroke.com, scroll down to our footer, you will see a link. It'll say Discord. Click on that on your mobile device, and it will take you to the Discord app. And you'll be in the chat room with the rest of the core.
Can I be chatting while we're recording?
Yeah. Do you have the app?
No, I don't.
You can do it next week.
All right. Next week, I'm going to be Discording while I'm recording. Ooh. Oh, I'm so cool.
I hope you remember that. That'd be a good title for next week's.
Discording while recording.
If you do want to find the Discord link, let's say you don't go on the website, if you search Brokehead Core Lounge, you will find it there.
And that's pretty much all that happened in my week. Nothing happened. I binge watched some more TV shows. This Is Us wasn't on because of the Olympics.
Leo does play a fun game, though, with Grandpa, right? With the Olympics?
He does. So my dad's been watching the Winter Olympics because my dad likes curling. I don't know why.
That seems to be the popular one,
my
curling.
Dad loves watching curling. So while we're watching the Olympics, Leo's very excited and he's watching it. And he does the Olympics with my dad. So I think we talked about he does bobsled with me after we watched Cool Runnings.
Yeah.
But my dad has him do the skeleton and cross country, pretty much anything except for ice skating. So that's a lot of fun. They fly around the living room, and then Grandpa gets tired because my child weighs 15.5 pounds now. So he is difficult to fly around the room.
If you train him now, he could be the first half Mexican in most of those Olympic sports.
In the Winter Olympics. Oh my goodness.
We can pass him off as full Mexican, let's be real.
and we could also pass him off as not Mexican.
Whatever benefits him. Like, that's what I'm going to tell him when he gets older.
Whatever gets him farther.
Whatever at that time is like we feel bad for them. Like, be that, Leo. Get these scholarships. Get the help. Get accepted into college to raise a ratio of X amount of this particular skin color.
Spoken like a true Mexican parent.
Like a true immigrant.
Yes.
Yes, the child of immigrants. Absolutely. Although I had no choice, but it worked out.
Yes.
It did work out.
It did. It's because you married.
Oh, that too.
White.
But I was saying when I was in college, like there were some nice scholarships
there were. Yeah, there still are.
There were scholarships if you knew Spanish. There was a scholarship if you knew both for being bilingual. Mm-hmm. There's a scholarship just for being the son of immigrant parents. Good stuff.
I tried to find the scholarship for redheads, and there was none.
I'm sure it's still out there.
No, I tried. I looked everywhere.
There's one thing I learned from high school and like my senior year is they said apply for everything.
Yes.
Because they said there's scholarships that no one applies for, that they just like, all right, no money's going anywhere. It's like, if you don't play golf, send in your essay for that. Like, everything.
That's smart. I should maybe someday go back to school, but I probably won't.
The final portion before our interview right here on the Reasons I'm Broke podcast is the Patreon shoutouts of the week.
This week we have 3 shoutouts. The first one goes out to Robin, whose Twitter and Instagram is @RobinConcepts.
Robin has released an incredible ramshackle house study on his Instagram. If you ever want to see someone who is building his craft, every single time he posts something, you will see something different. So it turned out amazing. It reminded me of something straight out of Ponyo. Like, it looked gorgeous.
What's a ramshackle house? Something out of Ponyo?
Well, it's a simpler house. It's something that's not like it's a ramshackle. It's more off the beaten path type of thing,
like
but not
a
in
shack.
Yeah, like a shack, not in terrible condition, just a simpler structure.
How are you thinking of words that I don't even know? I usually have the secret words like cummerbunds.
We also want to thank Matt on Twitter Mr. Forklift, who this is his first time getting a shout out, first time on the Patreon Brocat Core. Thank you so much, Matt. He retweeted an awesome Mr. Rogers Neighborhood remix as done by Melody Sheep.
Stop, how's it go?
I didn't memorize it. I don't know if you remember like the ones that they've done for Carl Sagan.
No. Oh yeah, no.
You might remember if I showed you, but they've done some for science where they're just speeches, but they'll make them so that it sounds like they're singing. It's auto-tuned. They use auto-tune to make it sound like they're singing, and then they'll repeat it. They've done them with, I believe they did one with Dawkins as well. But Melody Sheep tends to do it with like more inspirational speeches, and he did one with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, and I never would have seen it unless Mr. Forklift had retweeted it.
Did he steal Riggs's Twitter handle?
He fucking did, didn't he? Riggs is definitely Mr. Forklift. Actually, Riggs did create a Twitter a long time ago, and he made it about the moon. So either one, like, yeah, I can see Riggs. He's obsessed with the moon. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not know that. I knew he was obsessed with forklifts and 4-leaf clovers.
He had an experience looking at the moon one night, and he worships the moon now. So now you know that. That's pretty cool.
All right. I like the moon, too. Miss Frizzle went to the moon. Always Magic School Bus.
Final shout out goes out to Rob on Twitter @TheRealSitech. Might be SciTech. You can correct me, Rob, on Twitter. He has a YouTube channel, youtube.com/TheRealSciTech.
He tweeted, quote, "I'd make a terrible TCG commentator." Steve says, "This could be a setback for him. After all that digging, he fails to find a single energy for turn attachment. His buzzhole sits active." What?
It's a Pokemon. It's Buzzwole.
It's Buzzhole now.
All right, his Buzzhole.
Sits active without even being able to pull a jet punch. Me. That's his bad for not running Metagross.
That's his commentary. Like at the very end there, like, that's his bad for not running the deck that should win. I want to see him commentate.
I want to commentate and just make up everybody's name. What is this Buzzhole? Buzzhole? What?
So what'd be your response? What's this Buzzhole?
I feel like the fuck is this Buzzhole? I have to look it up. What's it look like? Tell me. What's the Buzzhole look like?
You're not gonna like it. It's one of the new Pokemon, and you are, just like Alex is about to mention with Sonic, a gatekeeper of sorts with Pokemon.
It's a sexy bug.
Sexy mosquito.
When did the sexy mosquito show up?
So that was one of the Pokemon that they revealed near the end because it is considered somewhat legendary. So they didn't want to spoil it in the game or in the TCG by revealing it too early. So they didn't put it right off the bat with Sun and Moon. Instead, you see him in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I think it is an Ultra Beast. And he does look pretty damn beastly. Fucking Buzzwole is pretty competitive in the TCG.
He's fucking carrying ladies around and shit. People think he's sexier than Machamp. Poor Machamp.
Impossible. Machamp is the sexiest.
No, look, they're showing him right here. They're comparing him. There's Machamp all sad, and there's fucking Buzzhole with his sexy mosquito face.
I'm on Team Machamp. Team Sexy Machamp. Yes, Machamp is sexier than fucking Buzzhole.
This fucking, I can't.
That'd be my commentary right there. Not as sexy as Machamp. Not as sexy as Sexy Machoke.
But who comes up with I can't. Who sat around a table one day and said, well, we're out of Pokemon, so let's make a sexy mosquito.
fucking, that's amazing. Like, that's the kind of thing that I was like, why don't we make another sexy Pokemon?
Yeah, but
sexy mosquito.
A sexy mosquito?
Something you do want to get sucked on by. That's only mosquito you want to get bitten by.
Buzzhole is definitely gay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Look at him.
I can't. No. As the Emperor, I demand this Pokemon be removed.
No, we need diversity, Kelly.
I can't.
We need diversity. You need to keep that in.
That is one of the worst Pokemon I've ever seen.
I knew you weren't going to like him.
In my entire life.
I knew you weren't going to like him.
If I were the Rotten Tomatoes of Pokemon, that would be number one worst Pokemon ever of all time. And number one worst sexy Pokemon of all time. And number one worst action/adventure Pokemon of all time. No.
So thank you so much, Robin, Matt, and Rob, for your backing on Patreon. Once again, follow them. Robin on Twitter at Robin Concepts. That's also his Instagram. Matt at Mr. Forklift. And Rob at The Real Satek. Thank you so much once again for backing us on Patreon.
And thank you to everyone who backs us on Patreon. We are on our way to goal number 7, where Daniel has to wear his Joey Whedon shirt.
And to goal number 8 or 6, yours is before mine. So
No.
Where you have to call it Kingdom of Hearts. And where you have to wear a Kingdom of Hearts t-shirt.
My goal is number 8 because 8 is my favorite number. And 8 seems very far away right now. Yours is goal number 7. I called it the last time because I'm the Emperor, and the Emperor gets to decide. She also gets to decide if her goal number needs to change later in the future.
Bobby tried to rally up Kyle to, like, let's pull the money together and really get the goals going, so that he was implying the t-shirt of Joey Whedon and then going to see Avengers Infinity War. But when Kyle looked up the number that Bobby had listed, he's like, oh, a second podcast? And that's when I was like, yep, a second podcast. That's because that's the goal number 6. So that's a valiant effort to both. But we are on our way to a Kingdom of Hearts shirt for
I don't even know what you're
that's
talking
the
about.
most
That's
important
fake
thing,
news.
really.
Fake news.
Like, if we hit my goal, we can skip it and just keep going to yours.
No.
Who's more important, me or you? Me or you, Kelly?
You can't ask me
Darth
this.
Vader Daniel or the Emperor? The Emperor. Thank you. So your goal
because
is...
you're my husband, and you're very important.
I just think you're a liar.
And you don't have enough t-shirts hanging here in your closet. You are
a liar.
You wear the same t-shirt like every day, pretty much. So you need more t-shirts. The Brokettes could do is rally together and bump us up to goal number 7 for like one day, and then pull all their money back.
Don't give them ideas.
But anyway, moral of the story is Daniel needs more t-shirts. He does not have enough. And I think we should get there.
I think it'd be more fun for you to wear a Kingdom of Hearts t-shirt.
No.
So I'm going by fun factor.
I don't even know. Look, I have plenty of t-shirts. Look at this whole side of the closet. It's just, it's full of t-shirts that I don't even get the opportunity to wear because your son pukes on them.
I'm taking the Marvel effect. Why can't we just have fun? Just have fun with these things.
Just enjoy them.
Fun. So thanks again to decalavenue.com as well for the help at the $5 decal reward tier. Don't forget, if you want to be heard on the podcast, you can leave us a voicemail at speakpipe.com/thereasonsimebroke. Let's see who the next person is to submit a question, a comment, whatever it is, on speakpipe.com/thereasonsimbroke. There's a link in the description of today's episode. There's a link on our website, thereasonsimbroke.com.
But of course, guys, our podcast will always be free. The best thing you can do is reach out to us on Twitter at ReasonsI'mBroke, at Kelli. I promise I'll check it at least once a week and let other people know about us, because that's how word gets out, is when you tell your friends, hey, this podcast is pretty cool. You should listen to it.
If you want to represent the t-shirt or the podcast through a t-shirt, head on over to thereasonsimbroke.com, click on merch, and you will see all of the different t-shirts that you can buy and wear and look amazing in. You can choose different colors. Whatever your favorite color is, pick a design. It'll most likely be on there. If not, whatever you pick is your new favorite color.
You can also choose different styles of t-shirts. So they have tank tops, they have v-necks, they have all sorts of fun stuff. I'm still waiting for the baby shirts. Where's the little baby onesies?
Very soon they'll be there.
I'm waiting.
Oh, I just got an email that we made a sale. As always, it doesn't tell me. This is real. Like, I just got it. Like,
cool.
I'm not even dicking around.
What's the timestamp on there? Oh, yeah. Like 5 minutes ago.
I'm serious. The only thing is it doesn't tell me who bought it. That's the trade-off, I guess, with TeePublic. So if you did, whoever and everyone that's bought a t-shirt so far, Thank you so much for supporting the podcast. All of it goes right back into the show. So thank you so much. And if you did, take a picture with it. Let us know so that we can retweet it. And thank you personally for supporting the show.
But with that, guys, we will sign off for our regular show this week. We do have, stay tuned, the interview with Sonic the Hedgehog writer. I am not there. I'm sorry. I am taking care of the child that you get to hear in the background halfway through going, "Wah!"
But I did call upon Mr. PurpleSwordfish, the biggest Sonic fan I know, to help out with this interview. I knew who the right person was going to be. If it couldn't be the Emperor, it could be Mr. YouTube.com/PurpleSwordfish, PurpleSwordfish.com.
Is that his name now?
It is, because I didn't get to say it during the interview. It's all about Ian Flynn.
Yes.
We had the guest, but I do want to let people know that you can find Alex, so you can also find links to it in the show notes. But without further ado, let's move forward with the interview with Sonic the Hedgehog's new ongoing on IDW. People were wondering what's going to happen with Sonic now that Archie's not renewing the license with Sega. Sega's not renewing the license with Archie. What's happening to Sonic? They never got to finish it. Are we going to get more Hedgehog? All the answers are there in the following interview. We do want to thank all of the Brocat Corps for your support, for tuning in. It is because we have been doing this long that we can do interviews on Skype because of our Patreon backers. And we were really thrilled to be able to get Mr. Ian Flynn on the show. So thank you so much if you're listening, Ian. Once again, I can't thank you enough. I can't thank the listeners enough. We hope you enjoyed the following interview right here on the Reasons I'm Broke podcast.
And remember, Brokettes, all will be well.
And welcome, Brokettes, to the comic book highlight interview, the highlight of the podcast that we normally do. And as we mentioned last week, this is going to be something different than we normally do every single week on the podcast. And because of that, you're going to see in a minute why we have the return of YouTube sensation PurpleSwordfish, my good friend Alex, helping out with this interview. Say hi to the Brocat Corps, Alex.
Hey, Brocat Corps. Good to see you again.
So Alex is the biggest Sonic the Hedgehog fan I know. He's the one who often repeats he's the fastest thing alive and reminds me, that's right, Sonic is the fastest thing alive. So I needed his help with this interview, and we're both also previous readers of the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book, so I think you can really provide a true fan's perspective, Alex, on this interview today.
Yeah, definitely a true fan. One of the originals. I like to think I'm a Sonic gatekeeper of sorts, but yeah, happy to be here.
So with Alexander on here, we have a comic book, an all-new #1. You may have seen it in the latest previews catalog at your local comic book shop. It was on the cover of this thing, on the previews, and this was for Sonic the Hedgehog #1. People were wondering when this book was going to return after it had moved from Archie. And we do have an all-new #1 debuting on April 4th this year, just a few, really, weeks away. You should definitely, as soon as you find out that you do want Sonic the Hedgehog #1, let your local comic shop know. But Sonic the Hedgehog #1 is going to have art by Tracy Yardley, who has worked on Cosmo, Sonic Universe, and Sonic Boom in the past. The cover is by Tyson Hesse, who has worked on Bravest Warriors. Love that comic. Adventure Time, another one of my favorites. And The Amazing World of Gumball. But the writer to Sonic the Hedgehog #1 is Ian Flynn, who has done over 400 issues, including Sonic Boom, Mega Man, TMNT Amazing Adventures, and more. And it is Mr. Flynn, Ian himself, who is joining us on today's show. Say hi to everyone, Ian.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. I am Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and you are listening to The Reason I'm Broke.
Look at that. That is an intro right there. And he already outdid my intro. Look at that. It's finished.
I'm sitting here reflecting. It's weird because I haven't been a guest on a podcast in forever. I've been running my own for so long and being kind of like the driving force behind it. It's like, I have to shut up now and let you do your thing.
No, by all means, go for it. Do let the Brokettes know before we go into Sonic the Hedgehog, the podcast that you do and where they can find it.
I and my co-host Kyle Kraus do the Bumblecast, which you can find at patreon.com/Bumblecast. And you can find me and everything that I have ever done and plan on doing that I can talk about publicly over at bumbleking.com. That's Bumble like the bee, King like the reigning monarch. Just Google Ian Flynn. You'll find it easy enough.
He's got the script down, Alex. He's done this before.
Yeah. Sounds like a radio commercial, honestly. And I mean that in a good way.
Well, my dad did radio for years, and so I learned from him the art of the golden radio voice.
You've nailed it.
And I like to think that I'm following his footsteps just a little bit.
Following in his footsteps and writing Sonic the Hedgehog, one of the biggest characters in video game history. How did you first land the gig for issue number 160 for Sonic the Hedgehog in 2006?
I did it the way that you're never supposed to do, which is unsolicited application to Archie Comics.
What's that mean? What were you writing in letters?
Because getting into the business is a catch-22. It's really hard to break into the business unless you know somebody, but you don't really know anybody until you've broken into the biz.
Right.
So what I did was I was going into university pursuing my English degree and thought, what do I do with this once I graduate? Oh, God, panic. And it's like, well, I like to write. I grew up reading the Sonic book. I love the Sonic book. So why don't I write the Sonic book? How hard can it be? So I mailed the home office that used to be in Mamaroneck, New York, and sent them improvised scripts. Just stuff off the top of my head. Here's stories that in the way I would like to tell them. Mm-hmm. Here is my letter of intent. Hire me. And after 4 years of zero response, which is completely understandable and predictable, there was a shakeup up north. New editor took over. He just happened to see my application because I kept sending a new one in every year. Mm-hmm. And he looked over it and said, "You ain't bad, kid. Let me show you how you're supposed to do it."
That's pretty amazing because not a lot of people in the street will take that chance and kind of work with you. They won't take the time. They'll just kind of say, if you've done work in the past, then we'll give you a shot. So it's pretty cool that actually happened.
Oh, it was a huge break. And they reached out to me in October, and I did a bunch of, data gathering, file sorting, just kind of cleaning house on their end. And, just tossing out ideas. They're saying, I would like to do a small story at first, maybe, or, see what I can do. And they tested me out here and there, and I worked my ass off, and I was lead writer by March.
With the Sonic the Hedgehog history, the games, how much of that, when you were in the offices already, did you go back and go through the catalog of the games as well, or were you mainly focused on the previous issues of the run and made your work from there?
I was a gigantic Sonic nerd. Not past tense, I am. That is my living being. I bleed blue. So what I wanted to do when I was coming into the book was bring more of the game material, because the book at the time had kind of become its own interesting thing. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to bring it a little closer to the source, but I grew up reading the book, and a lot of people had put a lot of creative energy and effort into crafting that world, so I didn't want to ignore that. So I tried to take in the library of books that I had grown up reading and the library of games that I had grown up playing and find a way to make the two mesh.
Yeah, it sounds like a good way to transition, especially from some of the readers. I think, I can't speak for Alex, but I know, I was reading the Knuckles miniseries that kept coming out, and there were definitely a lot of changes from, I'm a huge Knuckles fan, so when I was reading the Knuckles comic, I'm like, yeah, none of this really happened in the games. This is really cool, but it was definitely different from what we were used to as fans. What about you, Alex? Did you kind of feel the same way, that slight change from the video games as you were reading the books?
It definitely felt different, but I liked it because it gave me details that you're definitely not going to get from the games themselves. Especially the earlier games, there were no voiceovers, there was no real storyline per se, not a really deep one at least. So the comic books as a kid gave me more Sonic, which is what I was, kind of craving. And then I did like with, the latter part of the Archie Comics run, they did try to tie in with a lot of the newer video games throughout the series from what I remember, at least.
Since you were trying to merge in the kind of gaming side with the original content that they were putting out, is there something in the Sonic universe that you got the chance to explore that hadn't been done yet in the games, the television shows, or even in the previous issues?
Oh, shoot. All over the place. It's hard to narrow it down. That, and it's been 10 years of this stuff. And while I like to think I have a pretty encyclopedic knowledge of what I've done, that's a lot of story
right.
to go through. There was one little caveat that was unique to the comics that I'm really happy, one, that we got to do it, and two, that it got approved, was that in the games there was a robot called Gamma. And in his storyline, he gained free will, hunted down the other members of his unit and blew them up, and then self-detonated to release the little animal inside. Mm-hmm. And that nice little self-contained story arc. It was really neat. And then later on, they introduced another killer robot named Omega that was from the same kind of production line, but a different character altogether. And the two never really interacted in the games. In the comic, Gamma never self-destructed. He was still running around. So what we were able to do in the Sonic Universe title is explain why Omega, who is the super killer robot built by Dr. Eggman, would ever turn against his creator, and had Gamma beam his free will program into Omega before it getting blown up. So you still had Gamma's self-sacrifice, and you still had Omega's turn from the dark side, but it was unique in the way that the comics had laid it out. And I'm really happy with the way that issue in particular turned out.
So that you had to run by Sega first, before whoever, a representative somewhere of Sonic the Hedgehog, before you could carry out this story?
Everything goes by Sega first. They are the licensor. They are the gatekeepers. They make sure everything is on point with how they want the book represented.
Alex, are you on that Sega gatekeeper team? Is that where you fit in on all this?
I'm waiting for the invite to that.
Okay.
You and me both, man. Give me the keys to the castle.
So with that being said, you're that all has to go through Sega. How much free reign do they actually give you? Or rather, how much do you submit and then a percentage of this says, okay, you can do it, or no, you really can't? I'm sure after all these years, you know what they will and won't allow.
I've got a pretty good barometer of what they will and won't let slide. All things considered, they have been extremely generous over the years, allowing us to, or me personally, to create new and different takes on their property and mess around with the Sonic mythos. Like, some of the core stuff can't be touched, but overall, I've not really felt too restrictive. There's been a note here or there. I'm like, really? Come on. Let me. But
can you share what that is, or could it show up later?
Well, there was one instance in the old run where the initial pitch was we wanted to bring back a couple of villains from the games. Mephiles from the infamous Sonic 2006.
One of Alex's favorites, actually. No joke.
Really?
I actually really thought that game was not as bad as people make it out to be, but there's a little bit of fandom coming into that.
And Black Doom from Shadow the Hedgehog's game. And the whole thing was supposed to revolve around some timey-wimey, wibbledy-wobbly stuff, and it was a revenge story where they come back to fight Shadow and all this jazz. And Sega came back with, no, they're dead.
Huh.
And I was like, well, yeah, technically, but could we maybe? And they're like, no, they're dead. It's like, okay, well, we had a perfectly good storyline. What do we do with it? And we ended up creating new characters to fill the basic roles. And when figuring out who these characters were and what their new motivations were, it ended up making a stronger story and stronger character dynamics.
Oh, there you go.
So really, it was better off that way. There's a story coming up in the IDW run where a particular character shows up, and in the pitch, I said, this is where they were during this portion of a game. And Sega said, no, what if it was more this way? I said, oh, I like that very much. Thank you. I will take it. And ran from there. One of the issues I'm the most excited about coming up, because, oh boy, this is so much fun. I love this book.
That transition from Archie to IDW, did you have just a period of endless tweets from readers asking, so what's going to happen? Can you tell us if you're going to continue this story, if it's going to be an all new thing? Where is Sonic the Hedgehog? And how were you able to wait throughout those months and not say, which I'm sure there's stuff happening behind the scenes that you couldn't tell them about at the time?
It was a very tense period, honestly, because I didn't know what was going on for the most part. I'm knee deep in the franchise, but I'm still very, very low level.
Okay.
Like I've been writing the comics for years, but I am not a decision maker when you get down to it. So when whatever was going on between Sega and IDW and Archie and all them, that was way above my head, and I still don't know some of what was going on. So, but I also have a very strong online presence because I like interacting with the fans and letting them have a little bit of insight into the process. So they know they can trust me and they know they can approach me with these kinds of questions. And it was heartbreaking because it's bad enough that I've lost my dream job in my career. That wasn't really fun. But to have all these fans who have come to trust and, rely on me all of these years going, what happened to the book? What can we do to save the book? What can we do? Tell us. And it's like, I don't know. There's nothing to do. I'm sorry. We're all in the same boat that's sinking. And then I was contacted by IDW and they said, would you be interested? And after I piddled on the floor, I said, yes, thank you. But I couldn't say anything, because everything was being set up. So people are asking, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Are you on board? Are you involved? It's like, you can't say anything. Don't want to outright lie to you, but I don't want to, say no. Just be patient. Be patient. I'm sure there will be news soon.
With that move over to IDW, are you seeing any differences from the publisher side between Archie Comics and then IDW?
We're so early on in the IDW book, it's really hard to draw comparisons. Mm-hmm. The editors, Joe Hughes and David Marriott, are really great guys. I enjoy working with them. The first 4 issues are with the old guard for the Archie books. I know all these artists. I know what they can do. They know what I expect from them. They know my scripting style. So that's just like a duck to water. That's great. I'm really looking forward to what they're going to render. I've seen some stuff. Oh, it's pretty.
Nice.
And it's new and different, but it's also familiar and comfortable in the same way,
The one question I kept getting from, because I work at a comic book shop, and when people were asking about the Sonic the Hedgehog comic, was if this was going to be an all-new start for the Hedgehog, or if this was going to be a continuation of the previous series. And this always came from people who picked up that previous run all the way to the end. So from the man himself, let them know exactly what they can expect as a returning reader and as an all-new reader to Sonic with this all-new #1.
Okay, so straight to the point, Sonic #1 is a new book. You don't have to have read anything else. You don't even have to have played the games. If you know Sonic is a blue hedgehog that runs fast, you're golden. Just pick it up, enjoy the fun. It is not associated with anything that has come before. It takes inspiration from the games, but you don't have to rely on any of them to really understand what's going on. If you enjoyed the previous run, you should feel it's kind of like a new house, but with your furniture. It will feel familiar. You'll know my writing style. You'll know the artists. So it will feel familiar, but this is a new Sonic book.
So an all-new jumping on point, which is, I think, perfect for the newer readers, the newer company, and really the readers that were enjoying the book previously aren't going to, drop out simply because they weren't having their stories completely 100% concluded. They're still fans of Sonic the Hedgehog. They're still going to want to see what happens and how, it's actually an even better opportunity. I think, I don't want to speak for you, but to have a fresh start of, okay, I don't have these stories that I've worked on and that others have worked on in the past that I'm somewhat tied to. This is a fresh, only looking forward, essentially, from the story writing perspective.
Yeah, it's kind of refreshing. I mean, I put a lot of effort into the original run. I put a lot of effort into the reboot. It hurts that we never got to see any of it come to fruition. But at the same time, we all enjoy Sonic for what he is. And being able to go into it without the expectations of the previous run is really liberating. I can look at Sonic and say, okay, clean slate. I can just do whatever. And we're just running with it. And I'm having so much fun with it.
And you, Alex, you're one of the returning readers also to Sonic the Hedgehog. You immediately signed up for a subscription to the title. What do you think about this fresh start to Sonic and an all-new #1 for one of your favorite characters in video games?
Well, I think it's going to be great for people like me who kind of fell out of the Archie Comics version, regrettably so, but I did kind of fall off there. So it's a good jumping on point for people like me. And I think it's also good for newer readers. I think it'll give, younger kids. I know Sonic Forces was really popular with younger video game players. I think this is something that they could latch onto. And, one thing I would really like to ask Ian is there like one game in particular that maybe you haven't done an adaptation of in comics before that you kind of want to? Because I know you've covered quite a few of the Sonic games over the years in the comic books, but like, is there something newer like Sonic Forces or even like Sonic 06 that you'd like to do an adaptation of in comics?
The answer is yes, all of them. But, but more specifically, I guess I would really like to tackle Sonic Heroes and tell all 4 teams' stories in one cohesive narrative. We did some. Now, this wasn't associated with IDW. This was strictly me and the artist Adam Bryce Thomas. We were contracted by Sega to do these online exclusive tie-in comics to Sonic Forces that took place before the game, kind of prequel stories. Mm-hmm. And those were tons of fun, and I would love to do more of those. In the story of Sonic Forces, Sonic is captured, and then it does a 6-month time skip as Dr. Eggman conquers the world. There are so many stories to tell in that 6 months. I would love to dive into that. A dream, the impossible dream here is maybe to one day start with Sonic Adventure and just tell the whole story straight up to Forces as one giant narrative. That would have to be its own spin-off book. I don't think we have room for it in the regular, but man, I love Sonic. I'd love to get my hands on it. I love to just tinker with the story. Gimme.
I would love to read that.
Which character, and maybe Ian can give us a hint, but aside from Sonic, Alex, which character are you most excited to see in the pages first out of all of them? Again, putting Sonic aside, because that's your #1 answer.
I've always been a Tails guy. I really want to see some cool stuff with Tails. I know in the newer games, he's kind of been shoved to the back. He's not really in the forefront in the newer games. So Tails, and then I always felt like there was more potential with Shadow the Hedgehog. He just never really got his due. So those 2 would be my answer.
You're going to love Sonic #1. You're going to love it.
Do you have any one-shots planned for, depending on how the story rolls out, or is it still too early in the run, in the ongoing, to be talking about any one-shots for certain characters or even a miniseries covering, maybe the return of the Knuckles miniseries, which, again, many years ago, I really adored?
It's way too early to say, but I do know that the folks at IDW are very receptive to new ideas, and they are extremely impressed with the fandom and its response to the book thus far. On the Facebook group, they teased a character that's going to debut in issue #4, an original character named Tangle the Lemur.
Yes. And
the response to her was, it defies definition. I mean, we've had a lot of popular original characters show up in the comics in the past, but Tangle was just a phenomenon. And that has caught some people's eye, above me. Not that I'm saying anything's going to come from it, but I think they know, I think they're beginning to understand just how big Sonic can be. And if you want something, let them know. They're very open to fan response. If you don't want to join the Facebook group, their Twitter is, something you can shoot off an email to them. Let them know what you want, because if they're going to make money off it, they're probably going to jump on it.
So you're saying later on this year we'll be able to pre-order the Tangled spin-off video game, and we'll get the collector's edition, hopefully, and then the deluxe edition, and then the DLC on the side. I think Alex can stream that, right? You can do that in your schedule?
Absolutely. I'll fit
perfect.
that in.
Good.
Excellent. We've got a plan then.
So what's been the difference with Tangled compared to the other Sonic characters in the universe? What has been that difference that you've seen fans point out in this creation for something that they've yet to read, but they're already very quickly becoming familiar to?
It's really hard to pinpoint, honestly. One aspect of it might be that the design is fantastic. Tyson Hesse knocked that out of the park, but Tyson Hesse is a god among men when it comes to drawing things, so I don't think there's any argument there. Part of it, too, might be the mentality behind the construction of her character, because in the past, a lot of the original characters were used to explore different aspects of Sonic's world, treating it as a actual living ecosystem with cultures and different peoples and whatnot. Whereas this time I wanted to focus more on the game feel, at least at first. This is a brand new book, so folks who are coming in might be more casual Sonic fans and more familiar with the game feel of storytelling. So start there, then build on it. So Tangle was built off of these old video game ideas. Like, let's take a quick history lesson. When they were developing a mascot for their next system, one of the ideas Sega came up with was this rabbit with these stretchy ears that would grab enemies and pick them up and throw them. And they ultimately put the kibosh on that because it was too slow. They wanted something to show off the processing power of the Genesis. So they settled on Sonic eventually because he could roll into a ball and he could go up slopes and do the half pipe thing and really show off how fast everything could be rendered as he zipped around. But I really like that idea of some kind of critter that reaches out and grabs things and tosses it. And with the grapple line mechanic in Sonic Forces, you could see a character running along able to reach out and grab targets and zip along quickly. So, all right, what if we had a character like that in the game? Some kind of like Bionic Commando-styled Sonic character. And after batting around a few ideas, we settled on Tangle, who's got this stretchy tail that can grab onto things. So it's like, okay, how would she fit in the game? All right, so she would play basically like Sonic, but instead of jumping and running, she could reach out and grab things in a quick slingshot manner. All right, now that we know how she fits in with Sonic as a property, as an idea, how does she work as a character within his world? And we build on top of that, and then Tyson renders her, and she looks amazing, and it all comes together in this very thoughtfully constructed, very Sonic-like character, and I think that's what resonates with people. Is she just fits and she looks cool and they can tell that a lot of love was put into her.
I think the one of the final questions I have, and then I'll move it over to Alex, see if he has anything else he wants to ask you, Ian, is non-realistic, but your personal team-up book with the world of Sonic the Hedgehog. You've done, we've seen Mega Man and Sonic the Hedgehog in the past. Really popular crossover, actually. What would you want to see the world of Sonic crossover with if you had no restrictions?
Oh boy. I think I'm obligated to say Mario. Just because all we've gotten is the Olympic Games. We need a honest to goodness crossover between those two franchises and really see how it shakes out.
And that's all I have on my end. What about you, Alex, as the number one Sonic fan that I know?
Well, first off, I want to say that Tangle the Lemur is a really cool character, and I'm glad that you kind of expanded on how you created that character, because I agree with you. The one thing that really sticks out is it looks like something from a Sonic game, like top to bottom. You could throw it in Sonic Forces and it wouldn't look out of place at all, right? So that's really cool. So thanks for expanding on that. The other question I had for you is more of a general one. Like, what's your favorite Sonic game of all time?
I always get this question. I always have to specify. If you're talking classic, it's got to be Sonic 3 and Knuckles, with Sonic Mania as a close second. If you're talking modern and 3D style, it's easily Sonic Colors, with Sonic Generations getting a respectful nod.
Oh man, we know this comic is in good hands. He's got such great taste in the Sonic games, because Sonic Generations is like number one for me. It's just A1. And then same thing with Sonic Colors. Wow. Okay. Thanks.
I think PurpleSwordfish has a crush on you now.
Ian has earned himself a new follower on Twitter that has turned on notifications and is going to fangirl out all over this new comic.
And I don't think it's been covered just yet, but y'all know that when it launches in April, Sonic will have an issue per week in the month of April.
Yes, 4 issues initially, and that's something else, actually. I'm glad you brought it up, that subscribers were asking, is this going to be a weekly series moving forward, or if it's just during the first month? And it is for just the launch, 1 through 4, week after week, and then the following month is converting into that monthly release, right, Ian?
Right. After issue number 4, Sonic number 5, it doesn't come out till May 30th. Those 3 weeks in between are going to be killer, but that's how real comics do. We got to be patient. We can't keep up that pace forever. But the folks at IDW knew everyone wanted a Sonic book back. They were hungry for Sonic, so they're doing this issue a week thing purely for the fans, just to give them that bigger rush of Sonic, and it's really cool of them.
Yeah, we've seen it work recently with Avengers. DC's about to do it with No Justice, so it's definitely a good way to keep Sonic in the minds of readers, where they do have piles of other books that they go through, but it's like, oh, Sonic this week again, cool, oh, cool, and it's not. Is it the exact same artist every issue, or you're going to have an all new artist per issue?
New artist every issue. Mm-hmm. Tracy Yardley is doing issue number 1. Mm-hmm. Adam Bryce Thomas, who was a regular on Sonic was he on Sonic the Hedgehog or Sonic Universe? It's been so long. He was another regular. He's doing number 2. Jennifer Hernandez, who did a few arcs in Sonic Universe, will be doing number 3. And Evan Stanley, who was a regular on Sonic the Hedgehog, Archie, will be doing number 4.
And there will be variants as well to Sonic the Hedgehog, of course. IDW is really good about the variants. There's typically like an A and B cover, then there's some incentive variants. But issue number 1 for Sonic the Hedgehog will be launching once again on April 4th this year. The sooner you let your comic shop know, especially since this is a weekly comic, the sooner they can adjust their numbers and make sure they get enough copies for everyone out there. So once again, let your local comic shop know that you want all of that month's April's issues of Sonic the Hedgehog, and then that way everyone can read the Blue Blur. A final thing, Ian, you had mentioned the podcast earlier. Where can they follow you? People like Alex, where can they follow you on Twitter and on Patreon again, and the show that you do every so often when you're able to, after this busy schedule already with Sonic the Hedgehog?
My online portfolio and the listing of all the shows I'm doing this year, the big info hub for me is bumbleking.com. You can also find me at Twitter at IanFlynnBKC. And my bi-weekly podcast, the Bumblecast, is at patreon.com/Bumblecast, with the big incentive there being folks can write in and ask me questions, and we do a Q&A session at the end of every show.
That's right. There will be links in the show notes as well of this episode, so make sure to swipe over and click on the various links for everywhere you can follow Ian. And once again, most importantly, Sonic the Hedgehog, number 1, April 4th. Subscribe to the book. Let your comic shop know that you want this book. The sooner the better. The sooner they can order and get the book out there for everyone. So I do want to thank you, Ian, once again for agreeing to do the interview, and to Alex as well for joining us on this special Sonic the Hedgehog IDW premiere interview.
My pleasure.
Thanks, Ian. I appreciate you coming on, man.